All right, welcome everybody. I'm a little bit late. My apologies. And George is on a call, so you should be able to see George but not hear him. Let me know in the comments if you guys can see George. That way I at least know I got my setup correct. I'm technically challenged, so. Barry, good morning. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. So I wanted to jump on today because we've had so many awesome days. Okay, so Barry's saying you can see George. Malik, good afternoon. Martin, hello. Steve, hello. Welcome. Dice Forever, hello. All right, yeah, because and you're not going to hear him for a minute because I think he's on a call, a business call, if you will. So he'll join us when he can. So we'll go without him for now. So today we had a little bit of the opposite, right? We've been having unbelievable green days, but I want to go through what happened today. And I want to go through all the Bitcoin miners because even with this day down, the Bitcoin miners have still had a phenomenal 2023. So we're going to get some of this. The question is, what's next? So I'm probably going to do a poll that I did on the members only, and we'll see if everybody agrees with what the members thought. You know, and basically, are we going up or down from here? So I'll post that poll in a few minutes, and I'd like to see what everybody thinks based on today's trading action. And then I'm going to show you a few things that I think happened today. And there was various news today out there that is definitely worth talking about. Bring this chat closer so I can actually read it. Hello, Gorilla. Hello, Alex. George is contemplating, said Alex. Yes, exactly. The Jonat, sorry, mispronouncing that. Bitcoin 30K soon. That would be nice. With good PPI, why was the market red? I know. We got a red day today. So the market was red. Bitcoin hit a snag and pulled back just a couple percent. No big deal. And the Bitcoin miners, of course, I feel like this is going to be going for a while now. This volatility, this is the new normal. Most of these companies' market caps are so small that we're just going to get wild days. And now that we're off to such a wild start, every day is going to be an overcorrection just based on potentially tiny moves. So to me, that's what we saw today, a massive, with the Bitcoin miners, a massive overcorrection to the downside. Just versus Bitcoin's action today, but not necessarily, I'm going to show you the year-to-date stuff, and I think, the Bitcoin miners are still way ahead of Bitcoin since the year started, and that was only a few weeks ago, but, today was red. Barry said George doesn't look like he's on a call. He looks like he's on the wrong end of the worst trade of his life. No, that's yes, that's a conversation with a customer. People are getting more difficult to deal with in this world. I don't know if any of you noticed that. Drop a comment if anybody's in construction or anything. Have you noticed people are a lot harder to please anymore? Robert said, loving the surprise live stream. Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for joining. If everybody could please, hopefully yes, if everybody could smash the like button, we get more people on this live stream. And that would help a lot. So I appreciate it. Let's see. Gorilla, I put a lot of money in my kids' college fund yesterday. And of course, the market tanks today. I suck at timing the market. Well, all I can say, Gorilla, is, in my opinion, don't even think of it that way because this is a little pullback, but we're still at high numbers and we got a long way to go, right? I mean, especially if it's in your kids' college fund, I don't know if that's 5 years away or 10 years away. Just try and imagine, all right, what's it going to be? What are these stocks going to be then? Because that's all that matters, especially in a college fund where you're not going to touch it for a while. So I never sweat it when I miss by a day, and it happens. It happens all the time. It just does. So nobody can guess the top or the bottom or any of that. Now, I know we have some swing traders and day traders that pick up some patterns, and there's money to be made there. And I have been doing that. I said coming into this year, I'm changing my trading strategy a little bit. I'm still a buy and hold with my stocks, so I'm not selling my stocks, but I am buying and selling options a lot more already this year than I did last year, and that is paying off because there's been huge volatility. So on a down day like today, I bought a bunch of call options. So that'll tell you where I think the market is going sooner than later. I feel like there's a very good chance this rally isn't over. So I could be wrong. So if I am, that's why I do that in options and not stock. You can basically, it's the same as a stop loss in that, it's a much smaller amount of money, and if you lose it, you lose it. But it can I've already had several 3x, 5x, 6x. And that's what can happen in options. So I'm not recommending options unless you know options and you're experienced at that. Then please, it's crawl, walk, run. Because if you don't know options, most people will just lose all their money in them. But there is money to be made if you practice and learn, like anything. Barry said, today ruined Bitfarms run above $1. I know, and it was holding on, And I'm like, oh, they're really going to try and keep this over $1, but they didn't do it. So the clock starts over. So they had a 3-day streak. This would have been day 4 over $1, but they finished at 96 cents. So that streak is over. And now they got to reset the clock. Now I'm hoping it shouldn't matter. They shouldn't be anywhere near $1, in my opinion, in the other direction anyway. But you don't know, right? If we revisit our lows, then they're going to go through this whole cycle again. What do you think about Mara? I'll tell you what, before I tell you what I think about Mara, let me tell you what people think that I think about Mara. Apparently, there's a bunch of people out there that think I despise Marathon and that somehow I am very biased against them, and I get a lot of that in the comments. Everybody, thanks for your comments. 90+% of the comments are positive and thoughtful, and a lot of good questions and suggestions and all that stuff. But for some reason, the one topic that seems to make people angry is they think I hate Marathon. And there are a lot of people that hate Marathon, but there's also a lot of people that love Marathon. I just try and tell you what's going on. So I simply did a video where I just said, here's the cost per coin for each company. Like, I went to the financial statements. Most of the time they break it out so it's easy to find in the financial statements. Sometimes you got to dig through the footnotes, so it just depends on the company. But all that data was just straight out of, like, there was no opinion or emotion. That was just, this is how much it costs per coin based on their financial statements. And there were people that were just furious. This guy's sketchy, that kind of stuff. I mean, it was wild. It was surprising to me. So you guys let me know. You can watch that video and let me know if you think somehow I misspoke regarding Marathon. Because the truth is, I'll show you my top 8 list. I have Marathon as my number 5 overall ranked miner. And understanding that any one of those 5 could end up being the winner. Like, we don't know. It's way too soon to tell. So I think Marathon's full of potential. They haven't reached their potential yet. And I have, when they put out a monthly operational report that's awful, I go through it. And, it's objectively not good for somebody who's spent $1 billion on Bitcoin miners to mine 400 Bitcoin. But But at the same breath, I said I expect they'll be probably at 1,000 or 1,500 by the end of 2023, and that's what I would expect. So we'll see. They got to execute. That's what it's all about for them. Anyway, that's my thoughts on Marathon. Are that I think they need to execute. Financially, they've set themselves up in a very good way. I feel like I'm a moron for missing the trade. Riot had run way out ahead of Marathon. So it was unbelievably predictable that Marathon was going to run and catch up, which they did. I missed that whole trade. So that would have been a pretty short-term thing. But that was an obvious one that I missed. I think so. It's all going to be about monthly operational reports, and it could take 3 or 4 or 5 months. But they're talking about getting to 13.3 exahash very quickly, and then to 23.3 exahash by the end of the year. So we're gonna know, and I know a lot of people have already given up. Here's Jeff. We got Jeff Mara for the delisting. This is also Jeff. Tom is kind to Mara. Jeff said Mara lovers are from Reddit, in my opinion. That's Jeff saying that. So yeah, I mean. There you go. I know Jeff does not like Marathon, and he's not alone, right? The operating reports are extremely frustrating, but I know there's a lot of people who also feel like, you know what, they set themselves up, from a business and financial standpoint, they set themselves up really well. So, if they can mesh the two and execute, maybe they'll be the real deal. So I'm up in the air. I think they have a lot of potential. I had a top 4 and then a next 4, so I'll show you that later. I did do a video on that, and they were my number 5. So, and that was just basically for that reason, that I think they're all full of potential, but they haven't harnessed it yet. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens. Barry said, I read the comments, Tom. You are becoming a Musk-like figure. I don't know why it's that, Barry. I don't feel like I'm controversial. I feel like I'm... especially that video was almost kind of dry and boring. It was like, oh, here's a bunch of data. Enjoy. And that was one of the ones that people got the most riled up at. That was the cost per coin video that I did yesterday. And people were on fire. Pepe says, Riot is without debt, which is true. So my thoughts on that are, it's actually not as... They're not as different as you might think. Obviously, Riot is without debt. They raised all their money. They raised it when their stock was at a much higher price. It's all equity. So, from that regard, zero debt is a beautiful thing. However, Marathon has structured their debt so that's, they had some short-term debt I really was worried about. They've gotten rid of that. Their $700 million they borrowed isn't due until 2026. It's convertible debt. It's at 1%. So, if they succeed at what they're doing, they're never going to have to pay that debt back. It'll end up being the same type of stock dilution that Riot did. It'll just be 4 years later. If they do what they say. Welcome, George. Welcome to the stream. We had a lot of...
I don't like working for a living. It's no fun.
We were having theories on what it was that you were doing.
Oh, so... I don't know if I told you, everybody, but in 2 weeks we did more work in 2 weeks than we did all of the year before.
Yeah.
So that's insane.
It's been on fire.
It's been the opposite, I guess. You're gonna have some cracks in the eggs, unfortunately. And so I have to eat crow. You know what I mean? So I'm eating crow.
You guys would be surprised how very calm George is with
in life.
Upset customers in specific. I'm still mad at Tom, guys, just so you know. I want you to know I'm mad at Tom. What?
He's like, what are you, a swing trader? I'm like, Tom, dude, I was up like 18 grand. I'm like, Tom, I gotta sell it right now. Oh, what are you, a swing trader? And then bam, as soon as I said it.
Yeah, at that point, CleanSpark was green when you said that to me, so...
Yeah. I didn't buy any more.
But you held yours and it'll keep going. So let me catch up and see. It's too early. Ty said it's too early to predict which company is the best. The best company would be the miner with the most Bitcoin in 2025. I mean, there's a lot of truth to that. We're still early on. We're still before the next halving, which is really going to take some of these companies out altogether. So time will tell. But, I mean, everybody has their favorites. I showed everybody my list, and I'll show it again today on the stream. Jeff said, Tom, I love when you quote my Mara hate mail. I mean, there's no one on earth that's confused as to whether or not Jeff is buying Marathon. That's for sure. Gary said either you're a Marathon supporter or a paid shill. They don't want the truth. I mean, especially in a video where literally all I did was just take the numbers out of the financial statements and say, here's the numbers. Like, a lot of times I do give my opinion. This was like the one time where you really can't say I even gave my opinion. I just showed the number. And of course, Marathon was in last place. They're paying more per Bitcoin than any other company in the third quarter of 2022. And then they were all like, oh, I noticed how you used outdated information. Well, nobody's put out their fourth quarter financial statements yet. So that is the most recent information. And I even say in the video, you know, it's unfortunate that this is kind of a lagging data point, but it's the most recent one. So there's still companies right now that have not put out Q3. That's why I waited as long as I did. I was hoping that the rest of the companies, Argo Blockchain, and they just may not do it. I'm not sure what the requirements are because some of these are in other countries. I think also, was it Iris Energy or Gree? There was a couple of the big ones that just didn't even put out third quarter results, so I couldn't even include them. Never mind, fourth quarter's not coming for a while. So let's see.
Sorry, more problems.
Robert said, Ty, not necessarily look at cores. Mining a lot of low cost to mine is the thing to win. So the one thing I'll say about what Ty said is with the most Bitcoin. So like cores running through their Bitcoin, they're having to sell all their Bitcoin now. They had a big stack. They had to sell it all, and now they mine an incredible amount each month. They're still the number one miner as far as number of Bitcoin of the publicly traded companies. That's not even close. There's a couple of companies that sometime in the year 2023 ought to challenge them for first place, but not yet. They're way out in first still, but they don't keep any of them. So they don't keep any of them, and as a shareholder, it's not like they can grow. They're in Chapter 11 at the moment. So yeah, for those reasons, Jeff said, talking investing to 100K subscribers. All right, everybody, you heard it from Jeff. Spread the word. If you haven't subscribed, remember to subscribe to the channel. And I'm going to do
How about you tell people to like the stream? Hang on.
That's right. I pressed the button.
I like it. I like it.
Please like this. We have only 19 likes.
20. I just did 20.
So if you could like the stream. And then later, this is what I think you're able to do. Later, if you just don't want it, like, lingering in your history, I think you can unlike it later and it doesn't matter. But while we're on the stream, if we get likes, they spread. Well,
why can't you double like it?
I don't. Hey, they should let you do
remember that day?
I double like this stream. I triple like it.
I have a question.
Yes.
Did you hear anything about the meeting, the enforcement?
Which meeting?
You didn't hear about what the DOJ just said in the crypto?
Why don't you tell us what the DOJ just said?
Why don't you tell? No, about they're cracking down on it and they'll hunt you down if you're a criminal enterprise using crypto, like scaring people out of crypto because,
Yes, they put out a scary message, and there was one particular company they're coming after. I never even heard of them. I don't know if they're an exchange or what, but it's somebody I never ever heard of. And I don't know if that had an impact today because Bitcoin did. I mean, it ran into a brick wall. But I'll tell you, this is 2 days in a row. This candle right here, this red candle that was up at 21,580. That was the 9:15 a.m. Eastern time. So that's 15 minutes before the market opened the U.S. markets opened yesterday. So that was the high on the day on that candle. So sure enough, here's the 9:15 candle, the candle prior to the market opening today. That was the high on the day today, and it was just down from there. And you can see at one point we took a pretty deep dive down. But
Is it broke 20,500 or no?
It's 20,788 as we speak. It did get below that for, you know, a few 15-minute candles, maybe just one 15-minute candle, but and then it went right back above it. So
Only thing I got to say is Shiba. Sorry.
Shiba. That's not. That's. Do you have anything else to say about Shiba?
Yeah, Doge. Doge in 90 days is up 36%. Tell me about your Bitcoin.
The Bitcoin's up 28% since January 1st. I believe. I'll check the chart later.
Salerno. I told Tom, I was like, I've been doing a lot of research. I think I should get into Salerno. And he's like, you know, FTX, that project's going away. But then they announced a partnership with Google, and George missed the run.
Yeah, there's a common theme here.
What's that?
Don't listen to me.
Yeah, crypto's a weird game, isn't it?
Yeah.
I thought Tron. I thought Tron was going to get destroyed. I don't know how they've been able to fend it off. My prediction is Tron's going to get destroyed, and I think Tron could actually have some serious problems.
George is calling out a potential crisis in Tron.
Wait for
you heard it here first, or if it's not first, then you heard it here today. Darren wants to know if George is buying CleanSpark today.
No, I was actually thinking about it, but I should have sold CleanSpark today. I would have been a very happy man. Up. It just doesn't it just aggravate you to go and know you made all this money, you see it, and then you know the right thing to do,
and then you don't do it.
You don't do it. You know, I mean, everybody's there. Because if I would have sold it, it would have went up. Just so you guys. So I apologize.
This is the volatility we can expect. This is not over. Like, this has been every day. In fact, I took screenshots of the Bitcoin miners big board at the end of the day the last few days, because it's just been every day this year has been just crazy town. I mean, double-digit moves every day, and there were some days where there was, you know, huge high double-digit moves.
I think Tron's been around for 3 years, by the way, 3 or 4 years. It's been 2 cents is when we got into it, and it kind of was interesting.
Should we pull up the Tron chart?
Hey, that's if you would.
Hello, George. Hello, Pepe. Hello, Querty.
Pepe Le Pew.
Hello, Darren, if I didn't say hello.
So here's my question, Tom. When does the pullback happen? When is Bitcoin going to find a new low? Or is it straight up from here?
A new low?
Or a new high?
You're the one calling a new low. All right, let's do I'm going to put a poll out, and let's see what the people think. Let's do the poll we did on our member stream.
Andrew, do you know what is the other coin that gentleman has besides Tron? He has 2 coins. I know, it was perfect. It was the perfect play. All I had to do was get out.
Okay, so this is an easy one. No other options. What's next for Bitcoin? 23.5 thousand?
Are we doing this again?
Or 17.5 thousand? We did it on...
It was private yesterday. You're just doing the 2, huh?
So let's see. Well, Now
Man,
we got
I might change. I
we
might
got a
change my
bigger group
mind.
of people,
Nope.
and we had a big down day. So let's see. Did people change their mind? Are we bearish now?
I don't know. I
One
don't
day.
think so.
Let's see. I'm going to try and catch up on some comments. Jeff, Tom, everything you said in your video is widely understood knowledge. We've always known for a long time that Mara has a high cost to mine. They literally structured the business that way. That's from Jeff D'Agostino. I mean, I just put the number. I mean, that's the number they reported in their financial statements. If I take, and all I did was I took their direct cost of sales and divided it by the number of Bitcoin that they mined. So this was not like calculus or anything like that. You know, this was first grade math, and it just was time consuming to do the legwork. And there's just reasons and excuses, and you know, a lot. If I was to go do a deep dive as to the reason or excuse why everybody's number what it was, they'd all be 5-hour videos. This was just simply like, here's the data, you know, do with it what you will.
What's the data?
We did the cost per coin data, and what should have been the least controversial video I've ever done was like the most controversial video.
You're kidding me. Why? People don't like the costs?
Marathon did not do well. Do
you think they're regretting not building?
Well, they're
Because
still
that's what
touting
destroyed
their
their
asset
2022.
light. I think they still think their plan didn't work in 2022, but it's just delayed, and it's all going to work out in the end. I really think that management thinks that, and I really think there's a chance that could happen. Now, I don't invest on those types of, you know, concepts, but it could happen. They got derailed, and it's because somebody had just mentioned they rely on a lot of, by going this asset light quote, that's their term. They rely on a lot of different partners for everything under the sun, other than they own their machines and the pool. But, you know, infrastructure got in the way for them. At a lack of the buildings being built, a lack of the energy being provided. So all those things slowed them down. But if they get where they're going, it's going to be good stuff. I just don't know if they're going to get there. And a lot of people have made up their mind one way or the other that they're definitely getting there or they're definitely not getting there. I'm on the sideline, but I did give the information. So
do you think they would like to rethink their strategy?
I don't think so. I think that Fred is very happy with what he's done, and he wouldn't do it differently if he could do it over again. That's what I think. I don't know that. He didn't say that to me, or I've never heard him say that, but I just, you know, they keep, I'll tell you this, in every single monthly update, they keep talking about the incredible stuff that's going to happen. So that's another thing that I will say I have been frustrated about. And as an investor, I think we are all frustrated when a company is saying one thing and doing something different every single month, month after month after month. It's like, learn from this. You know, the rule of thumb, the old rule that everybody knows is under promise and over deliver. If you're over promising and under delivering like 15 months in a row, there's going to be some investors out there that say, you know what? I'm not interested anymore. So that's just how it works. Jeff says, can we all just agree that Riot and CleanSpark are pulling away from the pack? So that's Jeff's number one and two.
Do you think CleanSpark is pulling away?
I think their performance is exceptional. I'll show you guys what their stock has done, and their stock is underperforming. I think out of the 18 stocks that are on my watch list, and I have some more here that I don't really show because, like, all right, Sherman, if you're out there anywhere, Sherman's been trading this stock forever. It went bananas yesterday, but these are super, there's no word for them. There's micro cap stocks, then below that there's nano cap stocks. These are micro nano cap stocks, right? I think Luxfolio, had a big day yesterday. It was up 250% to get to a $1 million market cap. So I don't even know what you call those. And then they gave 42% of it back today, but still, So really, I usually cut this off here. MicroStrategy, and somebody earlier said they bought some MicroStrategy, I think at $2.10. So, you know, that's a solid play on Bitcoin. I did add it. I don't put it in my Bitcoin miner analysis because they don't mine Bitcoin, but I do put it on the big board because obviously they have more Bitcoin than any publicly traded company in the world. So that's their play on Bitcoin. They just buy it and hold it. Buzz says $75 for Riot in 2024. Barry is saying Tron has been around a long time, I think.
Yeah, I think we came. It's Sun. Is that who owns it? The guy. The problem is they're under. There's an attack on. That's all part of that DCG thing.
Let's see. Oh, Justin's son. Okay, I'm still catching up to you guys. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, Boomer.
Not a boomer. Not that there's anything wrong with that. We welcome all generations are welcome on this channel except the following. No, I'm just kidding.
He, she's, these, them, those.
Me, you.
If I haven't included you and I've offended you, I'm sorry. You're included. Alex
is saying, with Genesis filing bankruptcy, it could be a catalyst for your 17K, Barry. Barry Silbert, founder of BGTC, has his finger on Grayscale and BTC price. So, yeah, that is... Thank you, Alex. Genesis is planning to file for bankruptcy. So this came out today. Now, 2 weeks ago, they told everybody, we're thinking about bankruptcy. So, like... This was not out of left field by any means, but now it looks like it's imminent. So,
yeah. Well, the reason I said that about Tron is Sun wants to pop $1 billion and try to save it.
Where's he getting that?
I think he has it.
Oh, well.
OPP, son, OPP.
Not financial advice, but if he's got $1 billion, he ought to just save it.
Right, OPP.
He's good then.
You know me, OPP. Right? OPP?
OPM?
No, OPP. Others people property. OPM is other people's money.
Okay.
No, it's actually there's another meaning for that P, and I don't remember what it was. It starts with a P though.
Yeah. I don't remember either.
You know me. We should play that song and get demonetized.
Great. Robert said, a recent interview with CleanSpark, Matt Schultz said they are looking at M&A for growth, possibly becoming the North American Bitcoin miner. Low cost to mine, plenty of levers to pull for growth, looking good. I mean, there's no doubt. I'll tell you, I won't say that I laughed at them because I didn't laugh at them, but a year ago they said, listen, our goal is to be a top 5 Bitcoin miner. And they were so far away from that goal that I thought that was maybe a situation where they were over-promising. But you know what? It didn't take them a year, and they're definitely a top 5 Bitcoin miner. There was 1 month where they were mined the second most Bitcoin out of all the Bitcoin miners. They've been in third several times. So in most of the ways you can measure, they're up over, I think they were at 6.2 exahash in their December operational report. They'll probably be more. And they've gone up every month of the year. So there's a company that did the opposite. They beat their year-end target 3 times. So yet their stock is punished. So who knows? Gary is saying Marathon is a cult. Those in won't listen if you don't preach their beliefs.
Oh,
you're a liar if you give stats. Listen.
You're a liar. You're a cheat. You're a fool. Sorry.
The ironic part is I probably like Marathon more than the average investor. I am not invested in them. I have been invested in them. They were the first Bitcoin miner I ever bought. Stock.
I mean, the only reason Marathon is where Marathon's at is because they were leading the pack.
Marathon is they are still, even though their market cap is still a little bit less than Riot, their stock is so much more popular. If you look at the dollar volume traded, Marathon is like double Riot, and then Riot's like double the next company. So that's from a popular. If it was a popularity contest, Marathon's winning. Let's see. Jeff said, Tom, my favorite slide from your videos comparing the decrease in the miners and CleanSpark is always near the top. It's gone down the least. Yeah. I mean, CleanSpark has had all good. The two companies in my mind, and maybe three, that stand out just from an operational standpoint. And remember now, most of these companies put out an operational update every single month. Sometime, usually within the first week or 10 days of the month of the next month. So, we get a pretty good look at what they're doing, not necessarily financially speaking, but operationally speaking, we get a good look at what they're seeing. And CleanSpark, Bitfarms, and Riot, I would say, are the three that I think had the strongest monthly operational updates. CleanSpark probably number one in my opinion. Riot I include because they made a fortune selling energy this year. So they seem to have a deal set up that that's pretty sweet on that.
Who was it? Cypress?
Cypher?
Yeah, Cypher. I like them. I have a feeling you're going to see them.
They're coming on strong in December. They weren't most of the year. They weren't mining, and in December, from never being in the top 10 list ever on any of the lists I have, they mined the 5th most amount of Bitcoin out of all the publicly traded Bitcoin miners. A part of that is they got up in mining and mined the most Bitcoin in a month they've ever mined. Another part of that is there's 5 or 6 Bitcoin miners that have had a massive pullback in the number of Bitcoin that they've mined. Jeff saying, isn't CleanSpark the best performing miner the last year? I mean, from an operational standpoint, the answer to that is yes. If you measure everything, people will have different opinions because you got to measure their operations. A lot of people have different feelings about the HODL strategy, and they basically sell their Bitcoin for the most part. Then stock dilution, debt, they're in good shape on. Me personally, they're super high on my list, so I happen to agree with you. But everybody, when I did my top list, everybody, I got a lot of people that gave me their lists, and there was a lot of different lists, and it's like, somebody said earlier, it's too soon. We don't know whose list is right. I know I don't know. I agree with my own list, but it's my list. Gary agrees with you and says that he agrees. CleanSpark's the best performing. Let's see. Valkyrie is one company that wants GBTC. Talk to the CEO of Valkyrie about it. They are trying to get enough shareholders together. Oh, really? We're getting a clarification on OPP is other people's property.
Yeah,
as well as other things that I'm just not familiar with. So at this time,
I won't say what I want to say, but I have so many.
I know. Trust me. That was a softball I threw out there.
Can I say smell my fingers or no?
Well, you just did. So I guess the answer to that is yes.
Tom, come here. Smell my fingers. I have no idea. I'm just saying smell my fingers. I was working with some flowers.
Brent is saying Cypher is my new favorite. So he agrees with you, George.
Well, I remember somebody told me to buy it a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Many moons ago when it was really, really, really cheap and new.
Yeah.
I think, and I think your words was, I think this is going to be the biggest miner.
I think they still have it. They're that type of company. There's 5 or 6 companies, in my opinion, now that are poised to potentially end up being the biggest of the big dogs. And
You're like, if you have the time to wait, this is your one.
Cypher's in that conversation. There's no doubt about it. Buzz said Celsius
Listen,
has 30...
56, 54. They got down to 54 cents. That could have been, actually they got down to 38 cents. Wow. That could have been the buy of the lifetime.
There was all these Bitcoin miners a month ago were the buy of a lifetime, including Cypher. That's pulled a massive increase. Buzz was saying 37,000 Bitcoin miners out for bid on January 30th. That's Celsius. I assume those are the machines they turned off that Core Scientific turned off, because Core Scientific hosting a bunch of Celsius machines. Both companies have now filed for Chapter 11. So in the meantime, they're arguing about, the price that they're going to pay for energy. They've turned them off, and now it sounds like they're selling them. So is that an auction? So that's 37,000 machines that somebody's going to get their hands on. CleanSpark. I mean, I don't know who it's going to be, but
$100, $200, $300. Go, sold. They're not going to go for over $500, especially if they're only 100s or,
If somebody picks those up for $500, I want to go buy them.
Tom, I don't think they're going for more. We can get the S19 100 or 104s for $1,500.
But I think that's what they're probably selling. Something very similar to that.
Right. So how in the world would they...
You're saying because they're used.
Right. If you're buying 10,000 at a time or 500 lot, I mean,
we can buy one retail for that. Yeah, and that price is down 90% from when we first started looking. So, the cost of these machines, that's been the 180 of all time. Amit wants to know, how come no one talks about Hut 8 anymore? Hut 8's in my top 4. So I like Hut 8. They're not. I'll tell you why no one's talking about them, in my opinion, is they have gone into hibernation intentionally, right? They called this crypto winter first before anybody. They've been acting accordingly for the last 12 or 13 months. So they're keeping a low profile.
But I think they don't want to talk about their electrical problem too.
Well, they got a dispute with their electric company their electric provider at one of their facilities. So yes, that's taken a bunch of machines offline. It's reduced the amount of Bitcoin that they mine per month. But I don't think they're that worried about it, at Bitcoin. Especially, we had 2 months where Bitcoin was between, $16,000 and $17,000. I really think all of these companies, other than a couple who really keep their cost per coin down, most of these companies were just somewhere between break even. Some were even losing money at $17,000 a coin. And I'm not talking about depreciation. So that's the other thing. When I do that analysis, it's a cash analysis, because when these people are running these business, and I'm sure you guys mostly understand this, when these people are running the business, they literally have to decide, should I turn my machines on today? So they're not going in their room and going, okay, minus depreciation, no, with the depreciation, I shouldn't turn my machines on. That's a sunk cost. That's money that's already spent. So the decision for the day is, how much energy am I going to have to pay to mine the next Bitcoin? And if that's going to cost me more than Bitcoin is going for, and I have to sell my Bitcoin, my whole stack every month, which is what most of them are doing, why would you mine 300 Bitcoin and sell them all at a loss? Why not just mine 0? That would be my question.
When do these companies get, like Stronghold? I think Stronghold's going to have to get bought out.
Well, I know the mergers and acquisitions has not happened the way you would think yet. Everybody has held on.
I would think that right now it's going to start to get interesting, because looking at the price, it's down to 19 million as a market cap. Okay?
Right, and to me, their assets are worth more than that all day long. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they don't want to sell.
Yeah, well, I mean, have you heard of Gordon Gekko? Is that his name? where he does the
fictional.
Wall Street in Wall Street. Remember?
Yes.
He goes, I don't care if you want to sell. No, I'm just curious because that's awful. 31% held by institutions.
So Martin's asking, how's that dispute not been settled yet? I assume you're talking about the dispute that HUT is having with their energy company. I think now the pressure will be on a little bit more with Bitcoin at 20 or 21,000. I don't think HUT was very highly motivated to get that situation resolved at Bitcoin $17,000. Like
George, I want to mine. I've been wanting to mine for a long time now. I like miners. The Bitcoin miners, I like them. I think it's. Oh, I'm sorry. I always do that. I think these headsets are made for kids.
Well, are they?
They are, and so my head's too big. There, how's this? Is this better? Yeah, there you go. Now it looks a little funny. Hello.
Much better.
I'm sorry.
Hold on, I want to check in on the... All right, so just popping in on the poll. If you haven't voted, you can vote right now. 65% think we're going higher to 23.5.
Ooh.
Versus going lower to 17.5K. So this is Bitcoin.
Impressive.
So that's 65-35. That's even a little higher level of conviction than the members had, although it was very, very close to the same numbers from our poll yesterday. So I'm at 23.5. I don't get to vote because I made the poll, but that would have been my vote. Georgia, which one are you? You're on the fence.
No. I voted. I said that it's going to go to 23.5.
You did? Okay, so...
I almost went to 17.5, just so you know. I got a little nervous. I'm thinking... I'm not feeling it right now, you know what I mean? I can see it going to 17.5 quicker than I realize. Does that make sense? I mean, there's too many. They're coming after it again. Get ready, guys.
These... I cannot... Wow. That was like... atrocious.
I know, I thought of that, Gary, when I said it that way. I was like, oops, I better say Bitcoin miners.
These
we probably already got demonetized
right
already.
Are troubling, right? You start to get very nervous when you get this many, and this is on the 15-minute time frame, and that's the one I try to look at. You know, the 1-minute time frame, you can make yourself insane.
Maybe I should say BMs. I like BMs.
Oh, great. That's good. That's better. That's great.
Yeah, I could take some of those BMs right now. I need a BM right now.
That is lovely.
Sorry.
All right, let's see if I can do this. I'm trying to do something. All right, so if you're interested, we do have a members only. We have a bunch of members on the stream right now with us. If anybody is interested, I put a link in the chat. So we'd love to have you join us. We did our live stream yesterday. We picked a company. Galaxy Digital is going to be our next deep dive video that's for the members. So, you know, if you're interested, we've done, I guess we've done about 10 videos now, and we have a good chat. Yesterday was of course, it was a nice green day yesterday, so that was a nice day to have a live stream. So you're welcome to join us, members. Thanks for being members. I know I see a bunch of you on the stream today, so much appreciated. All right. And, of course, how come the button does it? And, of course, remember to subscribe and smash the like button, please. And thank you. All right. That's enough of that. Steve said, I just like Sue. Sue's good stuff. I mean... And you know what's funny? I haven't even ever talked to Jamie.
Who's Jamie?
Jamie is, she's the CEO at Hut 8. and she has not been on the channel. We talked to Sue, and you know, Sue is that's their person, and you know, she's an executive of the company, and she is their person to go out and, you know, do things like that. But Jamie does talk to some people, so maybe one time they could both come on. But I'll tell you, I saw the two of them a long time ago on Meet Kevin. All right, welcome to Talking Investing. And Omar, thank you, sir. Shout out to Omer G.
Yeah, I would say it's Omer G.
Omer G. Thank you very much. Welcome aboard. I hope you enjoy the
supermarket
content.
Yeah, Jeff, supermarket alert.
Oh, is Jeff going into his supermarkets again?
Yeah. Yeah. It was a good. When did you say to buy? I mean, it was wow.
Listen, it was a great call. I definitely have given proper shout out to Jeff for what was the call of the year 2022. Jeff, are you calling this for 2023 as well? That was probably the best call of 2022. Was the supermarket plays.
Do you think with them in supermarkets, with a Kroger buying, what was the name of it? Albertson?
Oh yeah, that's a massive.
Do you think that's gonna help it or hurt it in the first, the first couple quarters when they report? Because they always like, we have a one-time write-off.
Are you asking me or are you asking Jeff?
Yeah, I'm asking you. Though. What normally happens when there's big mergers like that?
Well, I mean, it absolutely is on a case-by-case basis. I think for them that merger is a very positive thing. I mean, they're a monster. So, and whatever it did, it won't wait until their financials come out. Once they announce that, it gets priced in. So whatever it did, and I haven't even paid attention to it, but whatever it did, it's priced in by now. Daniel said, love your content. Thank you very much, Daniel. Much appreciated. Oh, somebody's asking me, can I please post my top 5 miners? So I'm just going to go to the list anyway, because I did. Okay, so. And every screen is different. All right. I did this video sometime around January 1st. So you see my top 4. There's 4 I have a very high level of conviction in. And then I have 4 honorable mentions that I call the next 4. So that's really 1 through 8 for me. All 8 of these, I think, have a very strong case that you could argue for. And what I have done here, so this was their market cap at the end of the year. This was their book value at the end of the year. So pay no attention to any of that. What I wanted to show people here was, this is January 17th. This is where they closed today. So this is what these companies have done year to date. And remember, today's January 18th. Riot's up 68%. CleanSpark is the lagger out of all the Bitcoin miners. It's up 24%. I did add to my CleanSpark position today for this reason. HUT's up 78% this year. This is the 10th trading day of the year in the United States. I think 11 probably elsewhere. Bitfarms is up 118%. Marathon's up 102%. Iris Energy is the second lagger. It's at 54%. I mean, they're lagging. In 18 days, they're up 54%, and that's dragging at the end of the Cypher up 81%, Hive up 97%. So these are my 8. These are my 4 that I have the highest conviction in for sure, but this is my top 8. And then just to look at the rest, here's the rest. There's 4 that I'm kind of neutral on. I haven't done a video. There's 6 that I do have. I don't know if you can read this. There's 6 that I've been on record. I think they have potential liquidity issues that could be deal breakers for them. One of them, Core Scientific, has already filed Chapter 11. So, none of these are going on a limb. Everybody knows which companies are having liquidity problems. But so you can see, for the most part, those did lag behind. However, GREE is up 166%. And it's had 2 giant red days in a row to bring it down to up 166% this year. So if you invested in GRE in the last 3 weeks, you did just fine. Mawson, 74%. Mawson put out a report very late. They missed the deadline for me when I compare all the monthly operational updates. But the fact is, Mawson's really not even a Bitcoin miner anymore. They mined, I think, 32 Bitcoin. They sold their energy. They're making double or triple selling just the energy rather than using the energy to mine Bitcoin. So until Bitcoin gets to a different place, I just don't think they're going to do a lot of Bitcoin mining. And that's the smart move for them if they can sell their electricity at that price. So, and that, here's DigiHost up 228% this year, January 18th. Bit Digital up 105%. I mean, these are big numbers. I'm not counting after hours. After hours to me means nothing. So, because weird things happen on very small volumes after hours. So this was where everybody closed at today. So again, this is my top 8. I did a video on this. If you want to watch my line of reasoning, I go through why this is my top 8 really. And you'll see my top 4: Riot, CleanSpark, HUT, Bitfarms. Bitfarms I had as medium plus risk, and now I would move them to medium. They did some stuff that I was waiting and looking for them to do. Well, that's done, so they've lowered their risk profile in my opinion. And I have here high risk spectrum, because to me, when you have an industry where the average stock is down over 90% in 1 year, all of these are high-risk investments. There's just no way around it. But within that framework, I rank them low, medium, and high, understanding that we're in a high-risk industry. So that's my top 4, 5, 8, whatever you want. And that's what they've done this year.
Can I say ask you a hypothetical question?
Absolutely.
Hypothetically? Hypothetically speaking. What happens if, and I'm just hypothetically, if Grayscale sells all their Bitcoin?
I mean, if Grayscale sells all their Bitcoin, then their investors get their money back. They're not going to sell their Bitcoin and give it to the other.
No, I know. But is there a chance that could happen at all? Is there a chance that they could say, hey?
There's always a chance.
Because I was just thinking, can you imagine if they sold 653,633 Bitcoin?
Yeah, I mean, they're the largest holder of Bitcoin. Well, that's not the largest wallet in the world, actually, but obviously they're one of the gigantic holders of Bitcoin. So if they were to sell, in your theoretical scenario, if that were to happen, then obviously Bitcoin would take a short-term hit, because that's a lot of Bitcoin. And I want to answer another question at the same time that I've gotten from a bunch of different people that is very similar to your question, George. A lot of people are asking, with Marathon and HUT and Riot having a big stack, is that potentially a problem because someday they might liquidate that stack? And I want to, in my very strong opinion, that is not an issue at all, because even those large stacks are 7,000, 9,000, and 12,000 Bitcoin. Liquidating 12,000 Bitcoin is not having any long-term impact on the price of Bitcoin. Remember, there's going to be 21 million Bitcoin. So 12,000, while it's an awful lot of money, it's not something out there that anybody should be worried about, in my opinion. Also, I really don't think that any of those companies, unless they're forced to, they're not selling them anytime soon.
No, I just was curious about that, because you can see a situation where it might become necessary.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's going to happen, but it's a hypothetical scenario that could happen.
It's hypothetically.
Exactly.
And then they're at $11 right now. $10.83 to be specific. Do you think if they just approve an ETF that Bitcoin goes nuts?
Yeah, that's going to be the biggest catalyst for Bitcoin, but it's not going to be the first catalyst because they're not going to do this ETF thing until we've got some regulations in place, in my opinion. But each one of those things that I just said are, in my opinion, gigantic potential catalysts for Bitcoin, and that's why I feel like, we're yes, this has been brutal for now 14 months or however long. And then obviously the last couple weeks have been a lot better. And I don't know what the next couple weeks or months hold, but most of the catalysts from here forward are all positive in my opinion. The majority. So, and George, you just mentioned a few of them. A big one is an ETF is out there. That's happening. The question is, how long are they going to stall? And they've already shown us they can stall longer than I thought. For sure.
Longer than I thought.
Darren is saying the Riot lady doing their YouTube monthly videos is also quite a head turner. I don't know. Do they have like an internal person? Does Riot have their own channel? I did not know that.
They do?
Yeah, they probably have their own YouTube channel. Maybe they have a public relations person doing their videos. Is it called
Boats and Hoes?
I'm guessing it's probably called Riot. Not Riot Blockchain, though. It's called Riot Platforms. Right? Isn't that their new name?
Oh, there's 490 people.
490
subs.
Subscribers? All right, well, they're not promoting their channel very well. That's all right. They get out there, and Jason came on with us and did an interview. So those guys are out there. They're not afraid to talk. So Brent is saying the trust cannot sell the Bitcoin, and I think what he's saying is they cannot sell it. It's
his girlfriend.
It's huh?
Hey, you got a job for me? Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you're hypothesizing.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, back to Brent, who said they can't sell their Bitcoin not without a vote, and then Alex is saying 75% acceptance vote as well. So they need, a super majority type of a situation. And even then, I mean, it's it doesn't affect them. It's just a matter of whether they have Bitcoin or money. Alex is saying it's never going to happen. I agree. I don't think there's any real chance of that happening, but nothing's impossible. Jury, hello. Welcome to the stream. Barry, when Tom's having a bad night trying to sleep, and can Grayscale be liquidated? I lose no sleep over Grayscale. I'll tell you that right now. Grayscale's, and then Alex is saying Grayscale's a cash cow with high maintenance fees of 2%, 650K Bitcoin, I think. Yeah, I mean, that's their bread and butter. There's no reason, because it's a trust, there's no real breaking it and taking the assets away from it. And because it's their money maker, I don't know why any of them would ever do, why they would break that up.
She's Bitcoin pretty.
Darren says, when I can't sleep, I don't, instead of counting sheep, I count Bitcoin and fuel cells.
Must drive a Tesla.
No, listen, fuel cells, my fuel cell play is in hydrogen. So I think Darren's might be also, but I'm not sure about that. So you can let me know. Right, hydrogen.
Did not know that.
Hydrogen is the future. Maybe.
Electric is the past.
Wyoming, I think it was Wyoming. Of all the places to hear this, I heard this on one of the sports channels that I listen to on YouTube. Wyoming is put forth legislation to ban all EVs by the year 2035.
Really?
Yeah.
Ban them all, really? I mean, unfortunately, if we don't do hydrogen, I mean, if we don't do nuclear, we're in trouble.
I think oil and gas is a big part of Wyoming's, infrastructure revenue stream. It's part of how they do what they do. So that's not likely to pass, I wouldn't imagine. But I did hear that today. I did not confirm that from another reliable source, but I watched that on Black and White Sports. So shout out to Black and White. What? I like those guys.
Okay.
What?
You want to hear? I wasn't laughing about that. I was laughing about Fortnite is doing an Andrew Tate, character.
Oh, jeez. Great. That's a
I wonder
good
how
look.
well that one's gonna sell.
Alex is saying BDLP is on the move and plug is $17 today. So there's your hydrogen plays. Plug was one of our members only videos. So we did go through the hydrogen thing, and I've been looking at hydrogen for years. I traded FCell, so I was very fortunate to get in and out at the right time on that, unlike the Bitcoin miners. I will tell you, I'm not close to break even. I know a lot of people have been saying they've dollar cost averaged down to the point where they're getting close to break even or break even, but I had some of these. I was buying Riot at $30, so I have dollar cost averaged since then, but it's hard to get. Let's see, Buzz, take a listen to Elon Musk on why hydrogen will not work. I know that he has absolutely dissed hydrogen and said it's a joke and it can't work and it'll never work. I haven't listened to him talk about that in a while, but I know. But consider the source. That's his number one potential source of future competition, right? If hydrogen did work, at some point, the electric vehicle will be obsolete if they can make hydrogen cars. So I'm not saying when, I'm just saying if. So I don't know that Elon Musk is a independent third
aren't they
party.
Already making them?
Yes, they already do a lot of things with hydrogen. They do fuel cells with hydrogen. They have forklifts that run on hydrogen. They're now also making hydrogen fuel cells to put into the electric vehicle charging stations. So when you're charging your electric vehicle, you're using hydrogen energy. So, it's coming on. It's going to have its time, but it may be a little further away.
I have a. Did you just hear this just in? SBF blames everyone but himself. He's not guilty. Just so you guys all know, it's not him, it's them.
Just so you're aware. And Jeff, I'm afraid I don't think we want an Andrew Tate interview. That might be too much heat for the channel. That could potentially kick us right out of the algorithm. Even just saying his name might have just been a problem, but we'll leave it in. Andrew said,
Really?
GOP state legislators in Wyoming have introduced a bill proposing a state ban on the sale of electric vehicles by 2035. So there you go.
2035.
So I think
That's
Alex is talking
interesting.
about plug. Plugs run from 12 to 17. Let's look at that because,
Hang on, I'll be right back. Hang on.
What? What is this? What's happening right now? Yeah, so plugs had a nice run up. Oh, see, I mean, plug was down at $11.50. So yeah, I mean, since the beginning of the year, they're up from $11.50 to almost $17. That's a huge run up. And not everything is participating like this. A lot of us on the stream today spend a lot of our time in the Bitcoin miners, so it seems like the market's on fire. But the market's had a pretty modest. It's been up so far this year, but it's been modestly up. So plug is definitely one of the big winners this year so far. Darren says, anybody that watches this channel that doesn't buy plug right now is going to regret more than any decision they've ever made. Well, some of us got married, so I'm just saying. Some of us are happily married. That's not a slam on marriage. Heaven forbid. Jeff said, speaking of interviews, what's the rest of that? Oh, I see Matt and Zach from CleanSpark doing a bunch of interviews with much, much smaller channels. Any information on that? That's my fault. Isaac offered me an interview with Matt, like, I don't know, 8 months ago, and I just haven't done it. So, are people looking to hear from either Matt or Zach or both? Because that's something I would like to talk to them. I like talking to Isaac, so I kind of got used to talking to Isaac, and I like Isaac, but it would be appropriate to bring Matt or Zach on the channel and hear from them as well. So I would be for that. So I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna put that on my list. I'm gonna get a hold of them and ask them if they would be willing to do that, which Isaac has already let me know that they would do. We have somebody that says, I work for a major Bitcoin miner, and it's scary right now. Love your miner coverage. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Alex, MP Minerals 2. Yeah, that's another one we did our deep dive on. MP Minerals, that was a good one. Alex, is that INTC? Let's see. I love listening to Matt. He is pretty awesome. Listen, very candid. So yeah, and I haven't talked to him yet. So let's do that. Great suggestion. Thank you. I think it was Jeff that suggested that. Daniel's saying, plug big bull flag. Hive interview 2. So Barry's asking for a Hive interview. I'm super conflicted on Hive for the following reason. I do a video on, there's about 8 or 10 miners that I do a monthly update on, and nobody watched the Hive update, which makes me feel like people have disengaged from Hive and they don't care. And, I got a few Hive is dead comments and that kind of stuff. I don't think Hive is dead. And now the question is, if we have an interview at Hive, do we want to talk to Frank or do we want to talk to Aiden? Because he's now the new CEO. But obviously Frank is the chairman of the board, so either one would be fine with me. If you guys have a preference, let me know in the comments. Oh, yes, Alex is saying Intel. Yeah, Intel, I'm with you. I'm on the same page on that one, Alex. Genesis BK and price of Bitcoin if that happens. So that's from Dreamers. I feel like that is virtually priced in. I mean, 2 weeks ago they said, hey, we're looking into going bankrupt. And now today they said we're going to go bankrupt. So I don't know how much downside there is on that one. Maybe I'll be surprised. Maybe as it happens and unfolds, we'll see, how much, quote, contagion there is. That's the big deal. Are a lot of other people going to be out of money as a result of that? So Darren agrees with Daniel, but I got to go back and see what Daniel said. 54% upside. I don't know what that was in response to, though. Any updates on Beam, asks Jeff. So I'm still in Beam. Beam has had just good news after good news after good news, but they've been very, very sideways. So I would like to do another Beam video also. But yeah, I'm still in Beam. I feel very good about that play. I don't know why. So that leads me to, Beam is an off-the-grid, solar panel charged electric vehicle charger. So it's a one-of-a-kind product. I feel like just based on the state and federal money that's coming at them and contracts that are coming at them, I just don't see how they can do anything other than succeed. So I will do another Beam video. I'm a big fan of Beam, but that leads me to this. Volta to be acquired by Shell USA to accelerate decarbonization of the transportation sector. So Volta, which is a stock we've talked about on this channel many times, I held it in our 10K challenge, which I did a full update on and I'm going to post. So I just did one rounding out the year last year. I am going to continue it this year, so more on that to follow. But I did a video on Volta. I did a couple of videos on Volta. I really like these guys. And then at some point in the last third of the year, it became evident their circumstances had changed. And I did a video and just said, listen, this is now the risk assessment for me, from my perspective on this, has changed drastically. The stock went way down. They just sold it for 86 cents a share. So, that's the end of Volta.
No more Volta.
Volta is no more.
That was Cal. He says that if you have money in cash in Robinhood, you get 4%.
That's true. 4% interest.
Oh, it's like I said, that might be not bad this year.
Let's see. I'd like to make the call to be out on Hut and Hive. Can't be in them all. That's from Jeff. Yeah, I mean, I guess you can't be. I guess you could be in them all, but that would be pretty burdensome. So I think I'm in right now. I'm down to 4 major positions and 1 small position. So, and there's a bunch of others that I'm interested in, and I wish I pulled the trigger on in December, but by the same token, I dollar cost averaged into the ones I was already in, and they've made the similar moves to the upside. So I think 4 is pretty diversified inside of one industry. It's very diversified. But I do know there's a lot of people that hold like a lot of these or all of them. Plug stock I just learned about has the 54% upside. That's what Daniel is saying. New poll, who wants Tom to follow Plug more often and do more video updates? Plug. Is that worthy of a poll? Oh, I got to close the old poll. We got to check in. Oh, wow. Virtually the identical results from yesterday.
60-40, yeah.
Yesterday was 60-40. Today we're 59-41. So I'm going to end that poll. So a big red day, and people really didn't change their mind that much. We ended up pretty much in the exact same place. So that's interesting. And it's pretty split. I mean, 60-40 is pretty split.
I gotta go eat dinner.
All right, George.
Dinner.
Thanks, you
everyone.
for joining us on the impromptu live stream.
Impromptu. Remember that. Impromptu.
We will, of course, do our Friday live stream, so we'll see you on the Friday. Thanks again, George.
See you guys.
Let's see. Adam said Bitfarm, Tom. I mean, you guys know I'm in Bitfarm. Okay, so Alex is saying the voters have to approve first on the Volta. So, yeah, I kind of just assumed that, but that's true. And I think at this point, the way Volta's going, if they don't do this, they're going to run out of money. I don't know how I don't know how this situation got to where it was. Volta's also it's a very different EV play than like ChargePoint and Blink. Volta's almost like a multimedia play via using EV charging stations. So they have a little bit of a different business model, but to me, I liked them. I liked what they were doing. They just ran out of cash. And, who knew that cash dried up Small cap, high growth stocks ran out of cash, even to the point where for a company where, that's in the EV sector, the government's going to be throwing money into this sector, and yet still there was no cash available. And at some point when your stock gets low enough, it's hard. Oh, who else was that? Yeah, I'll give you a perfect example. This is another in the EV sector. This happened today. Arcimoto, stock ticker FUV, down 59%. They're down to a $6 million market cap, and look what they had to do today. Arcimoto nosedives following a $12 million equity offering. This is now a $6 million market cap company, and they just had to raise $12 million. So, to me, I also would say I actually thought very seriously about buying it because they just got $12 million, and they're saying they're only worth $6 million in total. But, their cash situation is not good. Their sales are insignificant, so... For me, not financial advice, I'm staying away from this one, but it's interesting. And this is what Volta would have had to do. They would have had to do some down 50, 60, 70% type of a thing to raise money at this point because they were trading for pennies. 86 cents represented a pretty nice upside. Let's see if it says it in this release. Oh, well, all I got to do is go look at it because that happened today. So that was 21% upside in the stock. So, and it's at 88.5. Not sure why that would be. And they're a $153 million market cap company. So, they could have raised some more money. But again, it looks like this is how this is going to end. But I guess you're right. We need the voters. We need the shareholders to speak first. Jeff saying I went down to 3 major positions and 1 smaller one. I want to get back in HUT, I think, waiting for them to show signs of life. That's the one thing that I will tell you is I am in HUT, and one of the reasons that I've stayed in HUT and I've even dollar cost average down a little bit is they're in hibernation, but my thing is, I got a feeling when they announce something, it could potentially be big, and if you're not already in, you're going to miss that big initial push. So, hopefully if it's the right thing, that means there's plenty more to follow. So either strategy is good, but for me, since I'm a buy and hold type of person anyway, I just held on. Perhaps Volta will motivate other potential buyers. All many stockholders holding around $5 to $6. So I guess you're saying, Alex is saying a lot of the stockholders are in this at $5 or $6, so they're getting burned. Yeah, I bet I bought in the 10K challenge. I bought for like $4.50, and then I sold for like $2.30. So that I thought was a beatdown, but it did get much worse from there. Jeff is saying regarding HUT, signs of life as a company, not as a stock. Yeah, so to me, the next thing is with all these Bitcoin miners, it's really all about what's their next. There's going to be big press releases. They're going to start making moves in 2023, whether it's sooner or later. Alex is saying, or the Volta stockholders can ask for more money. So that's a fair point. They may reject that offer and say, no, we want more than that. Or we'll keep doing what we're doing. Well, that'll be interesting to see. We'll keep our eye on Volta. That's the second stock that I've done. Romeo Power also ended up selling to Nikola. So those were 2 stocks that were in the 10K challenge that, first of all, plummeted drastically. And then second of all, ended up selling themselves to another company. So, well, Volta, not yet. We got to wait for it on Volta. But Romeo did sell themselves, and they are gone. And they sold for pennies. Pennies on the dollar. All right, so it's almost 6 o'clock here where I am, so I'm going to wrap it up. Anybody else have any other thoughts, questions? Thanks, everybody, for joining. Thank you, all the members, for being on the live stream and for being members. And thanks to our newest member. And everybody, feel free to... oh, hold on. I'm getting info. I got to hit the button. All right, so that should look better. George is gone, so I got to switch the button to get rid of George. Yes, thank you, everybody. Michael Anthony's saying stock ticker Job. Dip looks good with 0 debt with 20 million in cash. Stock ticker Job. Barry, thanks. Thanks. All right, so I'll write Job on my list and take a look and see what's going on. So, all right, thank you, everybody. Again, much appreciated. Hope you enjoyed this stream. Hope you enjoy the videos. I did put a video out just before this live stream, so you can check that out as well. It was, on Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. DigiHost, massive pump and dump. Well, Calvin, so far it's a massive pump. I don't know about the dump. You think that's what's coming? Maybe. I mean, they pumped ridiculous. That was huge. All right, so thank you. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks again, everybody. Thanks so much. And thanks for watching the videos. Thanks for your positive comments that offset just the very few but loud negative comments. I always appreciate everybody's. I do read every comment. I used to answer every single comment. I've run out of time to be able to do that, but I still do read all of them. So I do appreciate it. If I didn't answer your comment, I did read it. So thanks everybody for all your participation, and let's have a green date. Hold on. We got to look at Bitcoin before we go. So we're kind of sideways now here at around 20,800. I think we're going to make another run. I don't think it's over, but I guess time will tell. So have a great night, everybody. And we'll see you in the videos tomorrow and then live stream on Friday. Look forward to seeing you.